I reacted last night, and let me send my condolences to her family and her co-workers. I knew, even without having been told, that she's a victim of Nigeria.
Yes.
Nigeria happened to her. I was reading on my way here, I've not confirmed, that they robbed every flat in that building. They called the police. Police did not show up until after she had jumped out of her window, gotten injured, and had no emergency support. She was found alive by the police, but when she asked to be taken to the hospital, the police said they had no fuel in their car. Maybe, if the police had not allowed their car to be stolen by a thief, maybe that car could have helped her to get to the hospital. Who knows?
Exactly true.
So
yes,
there's a fundamental problem here, people. We are in trouble. And her own tragedy is just symptomatic of that problem. But I feel so bad for her. I feel bad for her that today maybe I would have visited her family, but I have to be in court. So, again, my condolences. But Nigeria happened to her. Nigeria has been doing people dirty everywhere. And her own case came to the surface because she's a member of the elite class. As we are speaking, they are killing people in droves in Kwara State. Those ones don't even hear from the police or army. They have been left on their own. The people of Zamfara have been left to their fate. People of Kaduna have been left to their fate. Katsina left to their Benue left to their fate. Kidnappers are riding roughshod. Because, again, your leaders have more interest in trivial things than substance. The people that should be prosecuted by the DPP are the people who are engaging in banditry and terrorism. But the DPP will probably be one of the people meeting with them in Zamfara.
Yes.
And taking selfies with them. That's what they do with bandits. If I were to be a dangerous, terroristic person, they will come and negotiate with me.
Yes.
They won't bring me to court. So, as you are aware from the beginning, we knew that there was another voyage in waste of state resources. There was desperation on the part of the DSS to file charges where no offense was committed. And you saw that with what the lawyer to Meta said, that they have looked at the charges, nothing even related to an offense affecting Meta, that's Facebook. And I think the same thing applies to Twitter, and of course, it applies to me. Because there was no disclosure of any offense. If you see the charges they served me, they have one page of proof of evidence. And that was a still picture they grabbed, a screenshot from whatever they get of Tinubu standing in front. That's not proof of evidence. They did not even, I don't want to teach them what to do, because I know they will still come and fumble again next time. Then, the most important thing that ought to have been done, which was to serve me, they refused to serve me. They were hoping that they come and ambush me in the court. They did not want to serve me because they are afraid that I will prepare for trial.
I decided to come.
But I decided to come because even cases that don't concern me, I come to this court to attend to them. So, what is important, Nigerians, is that our focus on how to fix this country is our inalienable right, and it's sacrosanct. In the process of doing that, we will not spare anybody, because we are 200 million people, and we deserve good governance, we deserve attention, we deserve accountability, transparency, we deserve the basic minimum standards of democracy and tenets, one of which is freedom of speech. You cannot litigate against us in any court or criminalize it. Even the man, the drunkard in the FCT, nice or Wike, who said an American has never called Trump a criminal, was presented with over 1,000 videos. The DSS claims that it's their job to protect the president. It's their job to protect him, but it's not their job to police free speech in Nigeria. That one is not. The DSS takes its inspiration from the Secret Service in the US, which exclusively protects the president of the US. The Secret Service has never filed a lawsuit against an American who said Trump is this or that, because they use America. That's what I'm using. But let's even concede, without admitting, that they don't do it in America. We can do it here. Because Americans don't have our type of problems.
Exactly.
Americans have schools, they have functioning hospitals, they have great jobs, there's no unemployment. So Americans can decide to be complacent about calling out their leaders. We haven't gotten to where America was in 1900. So our own circumstances are different. And we must approach it with the tenacity and the ferocity that is required to ensure that those who claim to be our leaders, whether they rig themselves into office or they seize power, we hold them to account. And I'm saying this, that even under the military, when the military will seize power through a martial music, we confronted them, even though we didn't appoint or elect them. So how much more the so-called civilian regimes in the country who supposedly were elected by a constitution that they uphold all the time, even though I don't believe in that constitution. But that's all they have for now. So I just want to make it very clear, and it's very important for all of you, particularly in the media, that no offense has been committed, and the trial could not continue today because there is no way you can prosecute an offense that does not exist. They disgracefully brought the DPP of the Federation to come and personally oversee this case. The reason why he came is they forced him here. That's why he was unprepared. He did not know that I have not been served, because I think he was arrested and bundled here. Because I found out in their initial charge that they published in the public that he refused to sign off on the charges. He was not consulted. But the DSS had to force him to come here because they know me since 2019. Their lawyers cannot face me. So they have brought the DPP, and the DPP must learn a hard way.
Exactly.
That's the rule.
Exactly.
Yes.
From this whole concept now.
Yes.
Let's go into some advice of
Yes.
and look at what's the reaction you expect now?
Yesterday, I was at the site visit and inspection by Minister of Works, Minister Dave Umahi, alongside some stakeholders and media, to go and specifically see this controversial site of Win Homes by Mrs. Stella Okengu and her investors in the diaspora who have been fighting the federal government for the realignment of the coastal road from its original alignment position to their land. The road has now passed on their land, but the fight is still going on. Now, yesterday, there was a site visit. The minister wanted to show the media what the real situation is. The woman claims she has an investment worth of $250 million in the place where the coastal road passed on her own land. The minister is claiming that even though you own the land, we know, but the claim that your investment worth in that place is around $250 million is not true. That is the minister versus Win Homes and their investors. Now, these are my own findings, my observations. I was in Abuja while the protest was going on outside. 3 of us went inside. I represented the media. Shino Lorimikon, civil society. Mr. Ahmad, a lawyer, represents Win Home as their legal representative. I was inside with the minister, and I was there. I heard it by myself. Minister Dave Umahi said, because they want to restore confidence in diaspora Nigerians, they should send their representative who will lead them to the Mr. President, that these are the diaspora investors who invested with Win Homes, the controversial site, and the president's final say would matter. Already the road has passed. Whether the compensation for them will be that they will resettle them somewhere else, or they will repay them whatever the money they invested with Win Homes, I don't know. But I heard him clearly. The minister said that. I was there. They not tell me. It's now said that he had a compensation offer of 19 million naira. Because he said as of the time they were passing our land with the coastal road, clearance and filling and all that, that what they met there on the land was only gate house. But I will say that if you know that corridor very well, now in our own case, he has over 300 plots, as I understand. Over 300 plots in a thick swamp, not just forest. The forest is also a swamp. It simply means that you will not only clear, you will also sandfill. And it's a price area close to the beach. Swamp Bugi as of that time is hired 500,000 naira per day to remove all those plants, trees, stubborn trees, roots, and shrubs. Before you start sandfilling, you must have engaged Swamp Bugi 2 or 4 or 3 or 1 for a period of up to 1, 2, 3 months, depending on the size of your land that you bought from the family. If you total that, let's say for just 2 months, 4 Swamp Bugis per day. After you are done with clearing with Swamp Bugi, did you know that you will have to start sandfilling? And the road for tippers to be bringing sand to your place must be paved, meaning that you are also constructing road to your site. Because the existing road are only footpaths, and even tippers can sink. So before you can give confidence to tippers to come to your site, that location as of that time, you must have constructed the road to your site solid enough, and you must constantly maintain it. As they are coming and they are depressing it, you must continue to refill. If this woman is able to show a bill of quantity, I can't doubt that she has over 5,000 to 10,000 tippers of sand fill for that expanse of land plus road. A tipper of sand, depending on your distance where they are buying the sand, is around 110 to 140, depending on the distance, because it is diesel. So multiply, let's average it at 120 for our own distance. 120,000 naira per times, let's just average it at say 5,000 tippers to be fair, just to be average. Multiply it. People don't know there's PR involved in these things. PR. In fact, I know some people that after buying the land, they start controversies. They will go to Alagbon, they'll go to Lemoro, they'll go to Zone 2. Because you finish buying the land only to find out that some people already bought it before you. And some people have even bought it after you if you don't act fast to take possession. You will now start fighting yourself. To now be the main owner, you must have spent a lot of money. All the barless, all the moneyless, some of them, you buy them. In fact, I know people who buy cars for barless, all because you want to be the owner of the sites you have invested in and take possession. Now, sometimes you even have to compensate pre-owners because you were not aware that some people pre-owned it. And you have already invested innocently. A lot of things like that. I'm not even mentioning that you have had to pay a lot of money to boys creating local barriers for tippers coming to dump sand for you. I'm not mentioning those. Off receipts, all these things, right? Marketing cost is part of cost. For you to convince people in diaspora who have made up their mind they are not coming back to Nigeria again because of all things they have heard happening, that they even see, and they have family members going through in Nigeria, they don't want to come back again. You now want to convince them to come and build hospitals in Nigeria, convince them to come and build markets in Nigeria, convince them to come and build homes in Nigeria, their retirement homes and their savings they are bringing to you. To convince them, a lot goes into marketing. I know this because even the Ministry of Works and federal government, they know how much they budget for their media departments. So for somebody to convince people in diaspora who have made up their mind over 20, 30 years that they are not coming back, marketing is a lot of cost and creates perimeter fencing, no matter how cheap it looks. The fencing, just to define your boundary along over 300 plots. That coastal road sand field is about 3 meters higher in some places than the existing community roads. Yes, that is how it is. So developing structures that have not reached roofing height, maybe like window level and all, maybe you just finished your German floor, your raft, your everything, you took it up. Do you know that sand field, by the time the road wants to pass, it will be higher than you develop your own structure? Let me finally talk about what the minister said about Lagos government revoking the title documents of everybody along that coastal road. Voila is coming. You are looking for investors, but back home, those that have invested, you wake up overnight and revoke their title documents. How is that assuring for investors that they can come and invest here? One hand you are spending to go and look for investors, another hand you are scaring investors with this one you are doing. Because there's no way anybody will know that government can just wake up in the morning and revoke, without prior notice, without compensation, revoke your land title or your valid title document. My final observation is this, gentlemen and ladies. Minister Omai says he wants to compensate the woman with 19 million for gate house. That is paltry sum. If you claim you are not compensating for bare land, is that, we all know that terrain, is that bare land? Somebody must have cleared it with swamp buggy, must have sand-filled it, must have done a lot of work, must have spent a lot of money. 19 million naira is paltry in that case. That is not to therefore say that woman's claim of $250 million is therefore true, because it can also be projective. I can say the value of these projects I'm doing, by the time I finish, will be worth $250 million. That is the worth. It's now left for me to say how much I have spent so far is so amount. And that is where I think the federal government and this diaspora investors should meet midways. Just call yourselves to table and resolve this instead of this media fights you people are doing. Because you are not giving confidence to investors with the way you are going, you people. And federal government is not helping matters. And to the woman too, I must be fair to the federal government. If you claim that you have done some structures that the road cost is demolition, and also the sandfield covered them or buried them, just show proof. This was the projects I had ongoing before the road came to pass. It's as simple as that. The federal government Ministry of Works, I'll keep pressing on you. Supply us evidence too of the state you met that place before you demolished the gatehouse. You claimed it was only gatehouse. Okay. The state you met the entire land before, at least you must have captured the place to prep for compensation. So let us see what state you met the place before you started demolition and sand filling. This so that we can compare with the ones that will be provided by the woman. Let us see this. All of you should give us. Let's see it. Otherwise, nobody should show us anything. Just call yourself to a table and reconcile this matter. I hereby appeal to Win Homes to please soft pedal I also want to call on Minister Dave Umahi and the federal government to take chill pill. Talk to this sister. You people should bury your hatchet and let the Coastal Road project move on. The Coastal Road project is a welcome project. I embrace it. I'm only concerned about the human angle in it, where you are displacing people. It's not as if I hate government or I hate the project. I like the project. It will make it easy for me to commute between Lagos and my hometown in Ondo State. You understand? Once I connect to Lajetu, because I've done it by bike, so I know what it means for me as a person. I like the road. But I will not therefore say because it will benefit me to make the journey to my home state in Ondo faster. I will therefore now approve the displacement of people anyhow without compensation. That is exactly what I'm doing. So please, I want to appeal to both parties. The woman, the last time I spoke to her, already said she is willing to drop the salvo and willing to embrace dialogue. But what you are offering her, let's be fair, is superfluous. She has spent more than you are offering her, and she doesn't want to collect that money. She calls it an insult. So that's exactly where I am. Thank you so much, everybody. I'll continue to bring you updates about the Coastal Road and other developments in the country, and to continue to bring you recommendations about how you can forge way ahead together. Shegun once again. Objective Media.
So guys, let's quickly take a look at some of the reactions coming from this video about the federal government versus some Nigerians who invested in the Lagos side of the coastal highway, people whose lands were being taken from them without due process. So guys, investment in Nigeria is looking very scary. Nigeria would have been a very amazing place for Nigerians in the diaspora. You cannot believe the number of Nigerians in the diaspora. And this will make people to start looking at places like Rwanda, Kenya. You can go there and buy houses, and you know, if you are looking for a place to go for a holiday, you just travel to Rwanda with your family, because your life is not even safe in Nigeria. You know, the security related wahala in Nigeria. So coming to Nigeria now, if not that people are Nigerians, I don't think anybody in his reasonable senses will just wake up and say, I'm traveling to Nigeria to go and enjoy. With the level, look at what happened to this Arise TV crew member. You know, now let's take a look at some of the reactions from Nigerians. This person say, I saw foul play here. These landowners are dishonest with the federal government and Nigeria. People would think that because it's federal government wrongdoing on a civic state, I will build them more than the project. 250 million on a project is not the same as buying the land. She should take it easy. Okay, this person is trying to say that the lady is increasing her money. I think $250 million is what she's asking. So for the fact that it's federal government, they're increasing the price. It's like my land worth 250 million. So the federal government should give me that same amount. Now, this other person here said, you are objective and you're protege of Sowore. You are objective and protege of Sowore. Please stop speaking from both sides of the mouth. Win Homes has nothing to prove to federal government. Umahi and Bola are bullies. The investors must adequately be compensated. I beg. It's becoming your practice. I don't understand though. And then this person said, why do you have to go through all this hurdle just to invest in this kind of place? It makes no sense to me, brother. Diaspora way the support Tinubu got served. This other person say, if she claims $250 million, then what the government is using to do Coastal Road is cheap with all your analysis. And this person said, did the road pass through the entire plot of land? If she had project going on, there should be remnants of the project now. And this person said, fact to go zone 2 matter for land. Facts to go zone 2 matter for land way full there too much. My uncle told me he had a land there. The case no be here. I don't know. Anyway, the whole thing boils down to, these people from the United States who came to Nigeria to invest, and now their properties went down. So it is either the federal government compensates them or find a way to make sure that these people get their money back. So a whole lot is going on. Now, let's move to a lawyer who was on Arise TV and came and said, if Jonathan contests, it will be unconstitutional. The headline here says, if Jonathan wins 2027 and spends 4 years in office, it will be contrary to the constitution. Why are we mentioning constitution now? It's not as if I'm a supporter of Jonathan, but this constitution comes to play when it has to do with other issues. But when politicians steal money, they go away with it. When Tinubu put emergency rule, nobody remembers constitution. Why are we now talking about constitution? So guys, a whole lot is happening in this country. Now, they say if Jonathan is sworn in and he spends 4 years, it will be contrary to the constitution. Now, this person say you can analyze why Jonathan can't be in the ballot for PDP in 2027 perfectly with constitutional measure, but can't analyze why an elected governor who booted out without crisis in his state. You can't analyze why nnamdi Kanu is a terrorist and gun carrying person are not. Okay, this person is just saying that, just like what I'm saying. Now they are bringing the constitution on Jonathan, but when it comes to other matters, like they are logging with these bandits, is it constitutional? This person says, so by this retarded son logic, if Jonathan has had one second time he would have only been able to serve for 2 years. Another 70% at NLS down the drain. So this person say, you people just want to stir up irrelevant conversation to disturb the present situation of what is happening in Nigeria. Did Jonathan contest for acting president? Did Jonathan contest for acting president? Please, Arise News, talk about relevant things. People are dying in Benue and Kwara. So I think this person is really saying the truth. Jonathan or no Jonathan? No, Jonathan was the president for 5 years. People keep repeating 6 years, falsehood, and nobody tells the real thing. Anyway, Arise TV, you people should report. People should report what is going on, especially in Kwara State. We want to see more reportage on that. Honestly, we really want to see that you people bring people up to come and talk about what is happening in Kwara State. It's really going out of hand. People's lives are totally in danger. Anyway, I'm going to stop here. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you.